Studies have shown that we as humans are really bad at assessing risk. So I'm here with Dan today. What we're using here today is a binomial distribution, which is a probability distribution. And we're going to talk about his farm, and we're going to use the probabilities that he believes exist for each of these potential outcomes. And from there, we're going to get a better idea for Dan about the total risk that he has for these 5 different risks that his business faces every year. And since you can't make that risk totally go away, you're self-insuring that. And there's a better way to do that. And that's what we're here to show you. What is the probability in any year of having a significant loss in your milk production, in your estimation?
Let's say 4%.
And if you have that milk loss, what would be, in your estimation, the average financial loss to your farm if that loss did take place?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was 200,000.
Now let's talk about immigration loss, meaning you have a loss for your ranch because of some immigration issue.
This one feels like it's it's somewhat more likely than it used to be, right? Let's go with 6%.
Okay, Dan. So let's say in a year where that immigration loss did take place, what would be your estimation of the average loss in that year due to the immigration effect on your ranch?
Yeah, this one ain't cheap. Let's call it 150,000.
Since I'm not familiar with your operation, Dan, you got to think to yourself, who's the key employee or key employees that if I lost that employee, maybe they quit or something happened to them, that I would have a significant financial issue to my ranch, meaning I'd have to bring someone in and maybe train them, but I would want to insure against the loss of that individual or individuals.
Let's put 5% on it. And yeah, then what would it cost? What would it cost to actually, replace that person? 100,000?
Okay, now this is a broad one. So what we're talking about here is any regulatory change. That could be a government entity says that you have to do X, Y, Z. That's the economic damage to your business based on some law or regulatory change that affects your farm. What do you think the probability of that happening in any given year might be?
Well, if one of these is going to happen, once every 5, 6, 7 years, sort of like clockwork. I mean, where's that put us? Something like 7%, something like that.
And I know this is a tough one because the regulatory changes could be very, very different. Some might be very, very minor, but some might be major. And so in your estimation, what do you think the average would be? So a good way of thinking about this when we talk about these average losses would be for me to say to you, okay, Dan, you're going to give me a number, a dollar number that you think it's going to cost.
Let's say it's 150,000.
What is the probability you have some event that causes you to have an excess death loss of your animals over, say, 10% in a 3-month period?
I feel like this number is pretty high. Let's call it 8%.
Now, if that were to happen, again, I could take the over under. You know how much cows are worth for you. So you tell me what you think that number would look like. Let's just say for a quarter in this case.
40,000 on it.
So now I just want to show you this. If we know that there's a 4% chance in your estimation of milk loss production happening in a year, then that means there's a 96% chance of it not happening, right? It's just the inverse. Now I'm going to do that for all those. Okay, so if you look at this, you might look at those 5 losses, a 96% chance of it not happening, 94% chance. Man, I got a really good chance of nothing happening. And to someone who the natural way that we think would be to think, okay, so I have about over a 90% chance of nothing happening. But that's not the case, because you have to have nothing happen here, nothing happen here, nothing happen here, nothing happen here, nothing happen here. All right. So we're talking about multiple probabilities. You multiply them together, and I'm going to show you what you get. So the probability of none of these occurring in a given year is not in the 90s. It's only 73%. Stated another way, you have a 27% chance of at least one of these happening in any given year. And these are just 5 risks we're talking about. We probably could name 10 more, and that number is going to look worse. So the long and short of this, what is the probability of none of these occurring in 1 year? As we said, it's 73%. But if we look at a 5-year time frame, what is the probability of you going 5 years with none of these happening? That's only 21%. Or you have a 79% chance in any 5-year period of at least one or more of these happening. You go out 10 years, you only got a 5% chance. You go out 15 years, you have almost no chance of going without one of these happening. So as I said when we first started talking, Dan, I can't make these risks go away. And neither can the large insurance companies. They know they're there. And when a large insurance company will not insure a risk of yours, let's be very clear. The reason they don't want to do that is they do not think they can make money on that. It's not because the risk doesn't exist. And so when they don't insure it for you, or they can't insure it for you, and you can't blame them, they're in the business of making money. That's what they do. And since you can't make that risk totally go away, you're self-insuring that. And there's a better way to do that. I can help businesses, and 3F can help businesses insure themselves in a better way by using a captive insurance company to insure these risks, again, that cannot go away, and for which you are just self-insuring. We can do that better for you, and we can help you to do it better. And when you have your own insurance company, your own captive insurance company, you're not upset in the years when the things which you're covering in your captive do not come to pass. The premiums that you paid for this go into your captive, and you own that captive. So you, as the insurance company, are making the money on that statistical bet. Because what that means to you is it's better for your operating business, your farm, and it's also better for the insurance company that you own. You're keeping those premiums, and they're building year after year. And look, if anybody listening wants to run through this with their business, I'm happy to do that. Just give us a call, and we can hop on and we can dive into this spreadsheet and just get as nerdy as you want to get.